see if we can save Janus, get the food where we needed to go, and go on from
there. Let us not dawdle.
Alright, we gotta figure out. There's gotta be a trade route somewhere right there. He's gonna have to
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
So weird. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh. We now have control over the granaries of Janus. The promise to help given to the Legion of Footfall of Ladame to Kara can now be fulfilled should the rogue trader desire to do so. Send provisions to Footfall, giving its inhabitants new hope and asserting their right to rule over the station. The inhabitants of Footfall Station will praise the rogue trader who spared them a painful choice between starvation and succumbing to the reign of Incendia Corda. Okay, cool. Oh, more mobile extractor. To welcome the new rogue trader, the Adeptus Mechanicus planetary office brought to the ship an offering of versatile microcom mines, ancient machines whose carcasses can be found in Janus. The Sacred Steel Titans will serve the Von Valencius dynasty. Cool. There's nothing there. Just gonna explore. Okay, done all that. Can I look at? Couldn't go to the warp zone was disturbed by reports of frightening sounds and visions that descended upon the group. Hundreds of people reported knocking and screaming behind the bulkheads of the void vessel, the sound of nails scratching against the hull, the elongated Eldari-like shadows thrashing about the long passageways. The phenomena were most prominent in the far corner of the office deck, where the new Lord Captain's companion named Yearly had made her home. The ship left the hostile material and returned to real space. Get off the cable. Okay. Lord Captain, there's a conflict between the followers of the Order of the Hammer and the refugees from the Winterscale dynasties. The main argument broke out near the tomb of the ascetic Nicodemus Cephas. The tomb was damaged in the fray. The pilgrims revering Cephas' rival, Philophemens of Maphite, claimed Cephas to be a thief who stole relics of Saint Cagnatius, disturbed the sacrament of his resting place to sate his greed. The Order of the Hammer is furious at the heretical statements and the desecration of the ascetics' burial site. Who is Nicodemus and Philophomenes? What is the issue here? Say Nicodemus Cephas is a missionary who arrived at the Expanse alongside the founders of the Order of the Hammer, offering them valuable guidance for colonizing Foulstone. He converted many of the worlds to the Imperial Creed, but his most famous feat was his search for the burial site of the legendary preacher Saint Cognatius, who had conquered the Expanse thousands of years ago, leaving behind a score of relics. Cephas was able to track down some of those relics. The order was named after the power of the hammer of Saint Cognatius, Pious Charge. Philophomenes of Mappai is a priest from the Winterscale domain. He preached in the same times as Nicodemus Cephas and denounced him for the false veneration of Saint Cognatius. He believed that Cognatius preached the incomprehensibility of the highest wisdom to the people, and that any attempts to learn it would only lead to heresy. He called the search for Saint Cognatius' burial site blasphemy, and the collection of relics, looting, and soliciting. And the collection of relics, looting, and soliciting. In his opinion, the sacred objects should not be congregated in one place, but should find haven across many worlds. The relics of power, and their aggregation gives way to pride. What say my advisors? By coming to a foreign realm, the Malpians are demonstrating their insolence. Penance should be imposed on them. We will send them on a pilgrimage to find relics of Saint Cognatius and learn the ways of Saint Cephas. This way, they could be of use for returning lost relics, and the Order of the Hammer would be satisfied with a just verdict. There was a similar case of a belief dispute at the 5th Ophelian Cathedral, and the conflict between the two cults was resolved in a sacred duel. 20 champions from each side came forward, both sides vowing to accept the victor's teachings if they lost. I proposed to invoke the cathedral's edict and settle the dispute in the same way. They believe that their faith is superior, then let them prove it. Subject them to a severe test of faith. If they survive it, they will have proven their steadfastness. Even if the Order of the Hammer does not accept their arguments, it would be easier for them to recognize the newcomer's right to interpret the way of Saint Cognatius if they prove it with their own blood and pain. We're going to go with, can't remember her name now. We should follow the edict of the 5th Orphelian Cathedral. Let might decide whose beliefs are just. I will arrange for the dueling grounds to be prepared in the monastery. 4 dozen fighters clashed in a bitter struggle. The forces were an equal match, and thus the duel righteous. By the end, only the indomitable Hectartus, the priest of the Order of the Hammer, was left standing, and, honoring their vow, the Malpians bowed down to him and accepted the teachings of Saint Nicodemus. So that's done. That's everyone on this. My apologies, Lord Captain. The enforced report that your pet Eldari is in a foul mood is moving towards the captain's bridge. We dare stop her, but I expect that you have a difficult conversation ahead of you.
Please spare me a brief moment of your time, Elantak. Azurion knows that I do not care about the curious glances of Monkey. I grew inured to them back in the blossoming gardens of the Lilithon. They curse me from afar. They follow my every move. They ward themselves against me. Let them. After all, what can be done with such weak-minded, primitive creatures? And still, one monkey stunt has caused the cup of my patience to spill over. She dared to approach me, to speak to me, and touching my hand, she suggested that we withdraw somewhere private. She wanted Morag. The mere memory of it stirs up a tempest in my soul.
My people have behaved contemptibly, and I apologize for it.
I accept your words, Elantak. And still, try to imagine, Elantak, being lusted after by a wild beast. It is foul, disgusting, so vile that it makes your very soul shudder.
I understand that this incident was unpleasant for you, but it does not mean that all humans are animals.
No. Your kind, simple souls and narrow minds are the root of all these flaws. Narrow minds and simple souls. Every day, I feel as if I am caught in a trap, surrounded by a pack of wild animals. I am prepared to pay this price to find my kin, but everything has its limit.
Perhaps you would stop insulting the human race at every turn?
Your species is sensitive to the truth. I will have to remember that.
I do not think you fully understand human thoughts and actions. It will take time, but I can help you make sense of them.
I have walked the path of awakening, Elantark, and learned to see that which is hidden and hear that which is unspoken. When I found myself on the Lilithon, I watched your kind long enough to understand the true nature of Monkey. I do not think you can tell me anything I do not already know. Nevertheless, I will not protest. Conversations with you are the only thing on this ship that can ease my solitude.
You are a Janus, a strange and unknown creature, and humans strive to understand the unknown, for the unknown is the most frightening thing of all.
Had any of them wished to understand my nature, they would have already run away in fear from one who walks the path of the outcast. But they are just trying to provoke me, hurt me. No. Monkey are driven by their instincts. To survive, to breed, to ensure the preservation of their species and the annihilation of those who threaten them. It is neither good nor bad. It simply is.
Sometimes we struggle to understand the motives behind our own actions.
It was emotions that once brought down my kind, Elantark, toppling us from our pedestal as rulers of the galaxy. Indulging your weaknesses or whims does not make your species any more attractive.
All humans are different. My people's interest in you was not intended to be an insult.
Elantark, please understand that I do not find Monkey attractive. The mere thought of being intimate with one of your kind. Our conversation has only proved my point, Elantark, that Monkey and the children of Azurian are as different as night and day. Eldari do not simply see the world differently. They see more than any monkey can ever comprehend.
What do you see in the world around us that I do not?
What do I see? Your words ring with the desire to know the soul of another. But will you be able to comprehend my answer? I will need time to put the entire truth of this world into the meager language to which your ears are accustomed. When I find my answer, I will pay you a visit.
All right. Oh, yeah, I've been there. Okay. One again. Good lord. Lord Captain, I bring dire news. A feud has broken out between the clans that maintain the Void's shield arrays. Rumor has it that the late Lady Theodora has been seen on the lower decks, and so one of the families called for a rebellion against the usurper of the Void ship. That is you. So far, no one believes their mad tales, but unrest has begun at the fringes of the compartments. The ships in force are already eliminating the instigating clan, or to pacify the entire Void shield crew. The decision is yours. Find the source of the rumors and punish those responsible. I do not want any unnecessary deaths. Lord Captain and Seneschal Warsarian would say there are no innocents in such cases. The clans are endangering the entire Void ship, tussling over a strange and obviously false rumor. If you so desire, I will convey your wishes to the enforcers later, but right now the unrest must be stopped and the people return to their direct duties or replaced. My wishes, Boxmaster, were for the enforcer to sort out the situation before we forfeit the whole crew wholesale. Investigate the rumors and find the real culprits, and no violence. I'll see to it, Lord Captain. So now I need to see. That's safe now. I want to go here, see what that is, because I missed that. Lord Captain, we have an emergency. We have received word that there's been a sighting on the lower decks. A sighting of Lady Theodora. The messages we have received are incomplete and vague, little more than yelling and hysterical claims. There are reports of casualties and unrest. The compartment in question has already been sealed off, but I thought you might want to look into it, what's going on for yourself. The situation is delicate, and what's especially disturbing is there are mentions of Idara Tlass being present at the scene. What is Idira doing there? Idira broke her microbeats, so I wasn't able to find out anything from her, but Lord Captain, Idira is a psyker and we are in the warp. You are the only one who would risk setting foot in that compartment, and if you do not, we will never see Idira again. I beg you, Lord Captain, do not ignore this matter. I'll deal with it personally. I need the exact location. Right away, Lord Captain.
A job for me.
And who now deigns to grace us with their presence? Another gaggle of heretics and traitors thirsting to get their due for what they've done? Or is it the leader herself who has finally grown tired of hiding behind others? Theodora von Valencius is before you, and she looks grotesque. A hole yawns wide in her chest, russet hooks protrude from beneath her skin, and a lumped inflamed scar cuts across her throat. The figure flickers as though it is dropping in and out of this reality. She looks at you with whitish eyes of a corpse and smiles venomously. Rogue traitor, we meet at last. I had grown tired of waiting for you to pay me a visit. Theodora's look is appraising, and her mocking tone turns to one of distaste. Indeed, centuries of selfless toil and effort, and everything I left behind is gone to this non-entity. Warp illusion, be gone! Argenta, my dear, there's no need to make such a fuss. Why don't we sit down over a cup of recap like we used to? I'll listen to your rapturous tales of sacred relics, portents, and your special path. You must have been so lonely without me here. No one else is willing to listen to your ravings or help you with your childish treasure hunt. Theodora laughs melodiously, almost without mockery. The sight of the terrifying Theodora Abelard's face turns sickly pale. Throne spares from the cursed aberration of this sark enemy. Is that what you are truly praying for? I can hear how fast your heart is pounding, Warsarian. I think deep down you hope this apparition never ends. We have already met. Of course, girl, for it was I who gave the order to bring you here to my ship. Oh, how I rue that decision now. Now I regret heeding the advice of my seneschal. What can this be? This is the same vision as on the officer's desk, and yet entirely different. Why does it not remember that meaning, and why does it remember what the real Lady Theodora did? Alas, my glorious voyage through life was ended in the dullest possible way, by death. A nuisance I staved off for as long as I could. But do not weep for me, my girl. I am still keeping an eye on my property, punishing all those who failed me. Theodora bares her rotten teeth in a snarl, her laughter piercing. You are not Theodora. Theodora is dead. There is no coming back from that. I'm dead? How is that? I am no different from those you who have not yet crossed the divide between reality and eternity. I see. I speak. I remember the wrongs you all committed against me. And for those who failed me, I have already begun exacting my retribution. I truly am Theodora, the remnants of herself that she left behind in this world. I am an echo of her memories preserved in the minds of those who care for her. I am the taste of tears spilt for the unsaid and the undone. I am the terror of she who failed to turn the tide of fate and who refuses to look truth in the face. I am as real as the human passions that bring worlds to ruin. Where's Adira? What have you done with her? Me? What have I done with Adira? Theodora laughs mockingly. All I did was turn that little mutt from the fringes into a true servant of the Imperium. I gave her toys, I cleaned up after her antics, I provided her with everything she could ever dream of. Oh, I have great plans for poor little Adira. What do you want with me? Why are you waiting for me? Matters are so dire that the pleas of one of my servants breached death's veil to reach my ears. How could I ignore such a desperate cry for help? Been for my little Adira no less. And once I appeared here, of course I had to meet the pretender who has allowed this deplorable state of affairs. If you are Theodora, then tell me who really killed you. Oh, wouldn't you like to know the answer to that question? I don't even know which would be more satisfying. Give you an honest answer, or leave you to languish in your own ignorance. We'll see how you conduct yourself, little girl. I'm sorry we could not help you, but you do not belong here. Theodora tosses her head back and laughs. The scar on her throat opens with a wet, sucking noise, curving into a horrible facsimile of a smile. She feels sorry for me, wretched, spineless creature. No, the only one worthy of pity here is you, girl. Do not expect any. I am not here to console you. Oh no. I am here to seek retribution against all who failed me. My brainless crew, my useless officers, my pathetic servants, who turned their backs on their mistress in her darkest hour. Worst of all, you, my dear heir, you who have undeservedly claimed the warrant and everything else that is mine. I'll drag it all to the warp with me, including you.
My success was inevitable.
I always keep my
Watch your
options
steps.
open.
Let's go back to this point. Save. Well, it's ended as though someone tried to break their way out. Great. Great. Huge shell road will be loaded into the macro cannon breach.
I always have a backup plan.
Where is she? I clearly remember her being around here somewhere. There she is. Ah, there you are, my little coward. Why don't you look at your captain, Adira? It's wrong. It's all wrong. Look at her, girl. My little Adira is utterly trapped in her visions. No matter. I will allay your doubts. Lord Captain, Adira turns her head to you, but her demented gaze only rests briefly on your face before sliding away. Up close, you can see that the base of one of Adira's temp or implants has blackened and melted. No, wait, Lord Captain, Lady Von Valencius. Adira raised her eyes to Theodora, who stands before her, tears streaming down Adira's cheeks. You came back. Poor little Adira. There. How could I not come? You are crying for me so desperately. Your pleas carry to the very depths of the warp itself. The smile suddenly drops from her mutilated face. Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you warn me? Answer me, you insignificant wretch. I'll drag the answer out of you myself. Theodora's fingers dig into Adira's scalp, meeting no resistance.
My precious has failed me.
Adira lets out a soul-chilling howl and tries to grab the hand tearing into her, but her fingers pass through the monster's flesh. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything that could have had anything to do with you. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I failed. Ah! Adira breaks into a strangled scream and you feel the air around you grow rapidly colder. Janus worldly swings her weapon up and aims at Adira, who is struggling. The monster again. Sister Battle looks at her without an ounce of doubt or mercy. Argenta, stop. Argenta wrinkles her nose at your shouted command and lowers the weapon by a few centimeters, but she does not put it away. Oh. Adira, I am your captain, not her. Listen to me and snap out of it. Adira shudders and goes limp. Then she blinks, disoriented, and looks at you. Lord Captain? Damn it! Theodore shoves the sucker away with a low snarl. The rogue trader's body begins to change, losing its human shape. Chaos will devour you. It will devour everyone responsible for my death. Die! Die for the delectation of my lord. Those look like an inch. Wow, that's not cool at all. Oh my god. I am screwed. Seriously? Why? Oh, because of this grenade?
I can do that. Don't get too cocky.
Here's my perfect moment. Who if not me? I won't compromise my principles.
God Emperor, move
high momentum.
Deer stares at you with crazed eyes while clutching the wounds on her head. At first, no sound comes out of her moving lips. Then she coughs weakly and whispers, "Lord Captain, is it really you?" Magenta trains her weapon on a deer and watches you closely. "Are you all right?" The deer removes her hand from her head and tries to wipe away her tears, leaving bloody marks on her face. Then she touches her burnt-out implant, frowning. I don't know. It should be quiet, but in my head, the whispering's louder. It shouldn't be like that. This abomination claims that you called her. Is this true? Me? Yes, Lord Captain. I think it was me who called her. I can barely remember. The voices, my old, good whispers, they suddenly turned red, sharp. They started cutting, tearing, ripping me to pieces. I cried out. I called for help, and she came. Damn it, why are the voices making so much noise now? Shut up, shut up! Has anything like this ever happened to you before? Like this? Never. Well, there was something, but it was different. It wasn't as strong or as terrifying. Apparitions appeared, mechanisms malfunctioned, the crew lost their minds. Adira breaks off. The Lady Von Wences knew about that. She said it was a small price to pay, an acceptable expense. No psyker is immune to it, but what happened here, it was just a mistake. I won't do it again. Deer stretches her lips to a helpless smile, looking past you. There will be no more mistakes, Lord Captain. This is not the first time this heretic has caused the death of her crew. You remember the incident on the mid-deck, Adira? What did those honest souls ever do to deserve such a fate? To be turned into mutants and attack their own families. You are a monster, a heretic. If you have any humanity left in you, admit what you are. Shut up. Quit your preaching. You're the worst out of everyone here. Sometimes a psyker's first manifestation leads to their death and the deaths of many others. But if a psyker possesses inordinate willpower and discipline, they can stave off their fall for some time. Adir has been alive for many years already, a laudable achievement and a stroke of incredibly good fortune. But the force of the warp will ultimately devour any psyker deprived of the Emperor's protection. The fact that these manifestations are growing more powerful is a clear sign that the end is near. The previous rogue trader has been seen on the ship recently. Was that your doing? Yes, Lena Voidstar. I did it a couple times when I'd had too much to drink. At the time, I thought I'd heard her voice among all the whispers in my head. The voice was so sad, so clear, I couldn't help myself. I answered. I hoped I could reach her there. Ever since she died, since I first heard her voice in my head, the whispers have gotten louder, clearer, harder to resist. You heard the warp whispering in your head and you answered? Are you insane? You don't know what it's like. The most important person in your life, who's now gone forever, suddenly starts talking to you inside your head. How could I not try to reach her? I had to. She falls silent for a moment. When next she begins to speak, it is in a barely audible whisper. I know what you're thinking. During the warp jump, when Lady Theodora came out towards us, I keep thinking about that meeting. I keep blaming myself. Why didn't I divine it? Why didn't I stop her killer? These thoughts have been playing at the back of my mind day after day, choking me with guilt. And you know what? The one on the officer's deck, I don't know what that was. This time here, this was the product of my guilt, an accuser straight out of my own mind. So what am I supposed to do with you now? Clean a voice, sir. I know after everything I've done, you have no faith in my willpower or my strength, but I can fix everything. It's just I'm not as my best, you see, but maybe we can find a way to replace my implants or some other remedy, a better one. Lady Von Valencia said that such a thing could be found, if not here then elsewhere. I just didn't need it before, but we just need to find it. We need to figure out what to look for, where to look for it, and we'll get it. And until then, I'll keep myself on a tight leash. I want to help you, dear. We'll think of something. Thank you, Selena Voystar. Thank you. I won't let you down. You are making a mistake, Lord Captain. Perhaps you will find something to slow the decline, but it will not stop it. Only a miracle can save a dear class now. Why? I've heard enough stories about ways of extending a psyker's life, but I don't think you'll like all of them. Adira awkwardly shakes out her stained clothing. I think I'd better. With your permission, Lord Captain. She takes a step back and faints. Lord Captain, the Boxmaster's shaking voice comes over the comm beat. I received a report that the shooting on the lower deck had stopped. I presume you have brought the situation under control, awaiting further instructions. I got rid of the warp's illusions. Adira is alive. Bring her to the surgeons and have them see to her. Of course, Lord Captain, as you command. Anything of value here? And everything. I had to go to the mall. Oh, way up here. Yeah, I knew that was there.
Is there money to be made?
One and it's done.
Oh, cool.
Let us not talk.
That was everything, right? I didn't miss anything. Alright, that is where we're going to stop for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm still having a lot of fun playing this. I do have to talk a lot, and usually by the end of the first, second hour, my throat gets really sore. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. If you do like what you see, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It means a lot, helps the channel grow, and I do appreciate it. Until next time, love you guys. Hope to see you again soon. Take care now. I'll talk to you later.